Hello there, I hope you're keeping safe and well. I thought in this video I would just go through my approach to songwriting, but before we move forward, please don't forget to subscribe, give us a like, click that bell icon, and I'd love to hear your comments. So I'm going to do this over several videos. Maybe this first video is around about getting down lyrics, what inspires me for lyrics and melodies. And then the next videos, because I've done some work in Logic, I've already programmed some elements of the track. I can take you through where I am up to date, maybe in the next couple of days with another video. So this particular song was inspired by a recent preach by our pastor Jamie Harland at City Coast Church a couple of weeks ago. And the general theme of his preach was the people being the church, or the church is the people. So that was the general theme of the song. So I tend to find once I got a theme, I can generally write lyrics quite well. And I had this melody going round in my head, or these chords going round in my head, which was a bit like this. So. So the key of the song is in E, and that formed maybe an intro part. And then as I was just thrashing around those chords, in my mind's eye, I had a bit of a verse part of the particular chord sequence or chord routine, which went a bit like this. Now, sometimes these turnarounds or these chord progressions, they may change, they may chop and change. Actually, that little chord progression ended up like this, from the C sharp in the key of E. So that was the actual kind of chord sequence for the verses. Now that actually transpired, that actually moved into, I used the same progression as I was building the song in Logic, which I'll show you in another video, for the first chorus and the second chorus. And then for the final chorus, I chopped it round. I went to the, obviously for the verses and for the first choruses, I was starting on the sixth chord on the C sharp minor. But for the final outro, or final chorus and outro, I switched it and I went to E, the one chord. No, yeah, I went to E to the one chord. And for the final chorus, the sequence went a bit like this. Chord progression went like this. So that was my my outro, or the final chorus. So in terms of the lyric ideas, what I had, I'm just going to go through the lyrics in my book. So I write my lyrics down, and what I had going through my mind was, I guess, with where we are now with regard to everybody's in isolation. You know, I had this theme going through my mind. So the first, pardon my singing. So the first part of the first verse after the intro goes a little bit like this. This is the new day rising. I see the world is changing day by day. So basically, start off by saying things like, we're in a new time, we're in a new day. I see the world is changing, but the killer line really is this. This is the new day rising. I see the new day rising. I see the world is changing day by day, but the Lord's love, it will never change. Then we're back into the second part of the verse, where I've just built on that theme, start talking about Jesus being the hope we seek. Now I've used, because the theme of the song was very much about the church being the people, I haven't made this personal. I've made that, you could make it personal. I could say things like Jesus, the hope I seek, but I've decided, I may chop and change this, that actually I want this to be about the church saying Jesus is the hope we seek, or people, the hope we seek is in Jesus. And also the next part is about Jesus, the hope we seek. Jesus, the hope we seek, our strength when we are weak. Okay, and then that final part, just building it into the theme about the church being the people, is actually as a church, the lyric is saying really, or I'm saying, but actually part of the church saying, look, we want to be the church that Jesus, you need us to be, especially in these times. So that final piece is make us the church you need us to be, something like that. Anyway, so the lyrics really then go, this is a new day rising. I see the world is changing day by day, but the Lord's love will never change. Jesus, the hope we seek, our strength when we are weak. Make us, Lord, the church you need us to be. And then the chorus goes a little bit like this. And I'm going to use the same chords, but the general theme of the chorus is the church is the people, a light in the darkness, a people built on the rock of Jesus, a church now awakened, the veil is removed, and we see clearly now. Yeah, you can see my scrawls in my lyrics, but that fine, I think it went something like, we see clearly now, there's no hope but in the Saviour of this world. And I go into a little link bit, and then I say Jesus is the Saviour of the world. So in effect, the first verse and the chorus are using the same chords. The second verse comes in, and we kind of just build on that theme. The second verse starts with a day of transformation, your church in expectation. Now I'm still thrashing out these parts of the lyrics, but the general theme of the next section of the lyrics, as I'm thrashing out, is let your light shine through us to a dark and dying world. And then this next part of that verse talks about Jesus, the Prince of Peace. Your love will never cease. Then you repeating that same line, the last line from the first verse, which is make it, which I think came in a roundabout. Make us, Lord, the church that you need us to be. And I repeat the chorus. So obviously this video and doing this video in the real life, it's not very all joined up and all very nice and all very neat. At the minute, I've got a scrapbook. I don't know if that is my scrapbook of lyrics, as you can see there. It's not neat and nice. It's been thrashed out. I'm thrashing it out on the guitar, trying to work chord structure, trying to work progressions, and trying to make the general theme and the lyrics that are kind of coming to me work within the context of the song. So once I've got a basic breakdown of the song, the next really stage is to bring it into Logic. And I'm just going to take you to Logic right now and show you only in part what I've kind of built within Logic Pro in terms of putting in a basic, playing basically into Logic, putting a basic bass line, thinking about drum tracks as well. And then I'll stop there and we'll do another video a little bit later on in the week. Okay. I've done a little bit with this track actually, but I'm not going to share everything in this video. So essentially what I'm going to show you is a bass part idea, my lyric idea, and I put down an acoustic track, and that's about it really. So so those chord sequences, or those chord progressions, let me take you through that now. So let me go down to here. We've got something like this. So I think that'll come through. I also did another part, a capo the guitar. So I've got two guitars. That's an Airs guitar, and that's the Ovation. So in theory, in the track, they'll be panned left and right. So with regard to the acoustic guitars, that is the actual take. So I've done that. That's fine. Although I did have an original acoustic part that I just plugged. My OVATION guitar has got a pickup in it, so in effect I just plugged that straight into the interface. But I've deleted that now. So that's the acoustic guitar part, which remains. This was my original. This was my original bass idea, which again, just very quickly plugged it straight into the interface and just put these ideas down. So for those with the acute listening, you'll notice that I actually played a wrong note through that, but anyway, but that was repaired. And again, these are just thoughts and ideas for the track. I have recorded the bass parts in now, and again with the original acoustic guitar, which has been deleted now, I recorded this very scratch vocal. And again, the vocal was just to get the ideas down. It's so easy to forget your ideas or your thoughts or your melodies, especially if you leave a song for a day or two. So if I can, even if it sounds out of tune, it doesn't matter. I've got the vocal down and the basis of the melodies. This is the new day rising. I see the world is changing day by day. But the Lord's love, it will never change. Jesus, the hope we seek. Our strength when we are weak. Make us, Lord, the church you want us to be. I'll show you this in the new video, but I'll just take you through it now. I'm not going to play these items. So, a basic drum section has been programmed in. So we've got the drums. There's some percussion ideas, especially between the links and verses and choruses. Just some transitional bits in terms of percussion. We've got there's tambourine there. That's, I think, is just some white noise. I think, not too sure. No, I think they're clicks or claps. No, they're claps, I think. The bass has been recorded, a synth bass at the end, no electric guitars. Bryn, I think you're going to do some electric guitars for me. I need some electric guitars desperately. There's the acoustic. And I've worked quite a lot with regard to synth and ARP bits, arpeggios. So there's a lot of synth and arpeggios going. And again, some little bits and pieces for transitions, and I'm still going to think of some melody ideas for transitions and for elements within the choruses. So there we have it. So the next video, I'll take you through these parts. So I'll take you through where we are in terms of the makeup of the song and some of the production ideas. And really, what I like to do, I like to get as much of this done as possible. And then we're ready pretty much for other musicians and the lead vocals. So really, at this stage, where I've got the song at this stage, I am ready for the electric guitars. Likely that I'm going to use something like Splice. I'll bounce this down to a stereo file, put it in GarageBand, upload it into Splice as a Splice project, and then invite collaborators. And may do much the same for the lead vocalist. I may put a scratch vocal down, but there's better vocalists out there. Use the best that you've got for the song. I'm not saying I'm the best vocalist, but obviously I can lay a vocal down. If there's other people then and they want to contribute, then fine. Okay, so I'm going to leave it there now, but look out for the next video. I'll take you through the other parts and the next stages for the song.